Good morning and welcome to this week's Elliott Wave Forex and cryptocurrencies market analysis webinar. I hope you all had a wonderful week. I had a brilliant week and I'm excited about this webinar. And by the way, I'm excited every week to host this week webinars because there's always something interesting I'm studying every single day, and I just can't wait to share it with you guys. All right, so let's get started with a few formalities, and just to show you first of all about those timestamps that are working so wonderfully well. This is just for the benefit of those that have not watched the previous videos as well, that don't know how the timestamps works. So this video is about an hour and a half long, so you don't have to go through each and every pair, because I go about to 30 to 40 pairs during the webinar. So you can't, some don't really want to go through each and every pair. So this is what I've done here. Maybe let me just show you how you will find it on YouTube. So typically on YouTube, you will find my video looking like this. And obviously you just need to go to this tab that says show more. So under the show more tab, you click on that. You click on show more and you will see all those timestamps. So if you want only US dollar CAD analysis, so pound US dollar analysis, you just click on pound US dollar and you see that pound US dollar analysis starts exactly there. So that works amazingly well. So even when I do the webinar for this week, when I refer, I just click on the timestamps. So unfortunately, the timestamps don't work on a mobile phone. So you may find that you won't be able to use this on the mobile phone. All right, so on that tab, you will also see my contact details and the Telegram group, my TradingView profile. Okay, haven't been posting much lately. I'm gonna post some charts in the coming days. Right, so that's how you can benefit from the timestamps. It works amazingly well. All right, and about the course, you can, if you want to know more about the course, we've just concluded one last week. The next one is from the 7th to the 13th of May. All right, so as I said last week, if you want to join up the course, you don't have to wait for the 7th to the 13th of May, because the course is fully packaged in videos. So the day that you join up, you get the full recording of the previous course. Then you can get started and start learning. For more details on the course, send me an email as per my contact details on the description. Send me an email and I'll send you all the details. So even if you don't want to join up the course now, you can just send me an email so you can know at least what the course covers, right? Because we cannot talk about all the details and the content here. Here we're just doing analysis for the week ahead. All right, I think we can get started. So I'm gonna start as usual with the Euro US dollar and the DXY correlation chart. Let's get all that off. So the last week has been quite interesting in the sense that all analysis has been playing out exactly as we analyze. Almost 90% of the pairs that we analyze here, they play out quite amazingly well. Okay, if not more, actually. So we've got the 240 at the top, and then I want to get the 240 at the bottom. So we get the correlation between Euro, US dollar, and the dollar index. You've got the dollar index at the bottom. And you can see that since the end of February, these two correlations have been sideways. Let's just make it a bit thick. They've been sideways, as you can see. Sideways, it means it's not going anywhere. So sideways is a continuation pattern. So we need to understand this whole complicated structure, what is happening with all these complicated structures. Because when we understand what is happening with this and when this is going to end, when it ends, we're going to get a big move. When it ends, we're going to get a big move. So we need to understand how it builds and when it ends, especially where it ends, when this cycle ends, because then you're going to get a trade. As you can see here, it's very difficult to trade within this correction. Okay, granted, you get small moves there and there that you can trade. You can trade these moves, but you can see that as for example, if you're selling here, your move, all your gains have been reversed. If you sell here, all your gains become reversed, 60% of them. You sell here, almost 80% of your gains are reversed. You sell here, 50% of your gains are reversed. So it's not a good place to sell or to take trades within this if you do not know what you're doing. But we have been taking some trades based on the structure, because we can see how it is building up, and this is how it's building up on both the euro and the DXY. So we've been looking at this. You've got this parabolic move all the way up here. So I'm going to look only at on the correction. So this correction started like this with a move down, pull back, and a move down. And we're looking at this as an X move here. This pullback here that is opposing. You can see that this move is in the same direction as the trend, and you expect a correction to oppose like this one. So corrections that are in the same direction as the trend, we mark them as an X or a connector. So what is happening on the DXY? Same on the DXY, you've got a swing move, swing high to swing low right here, doing exactly the opposite of what Euro US dollar is doing. As you can see there, you've got a move, you've got a move, you've got a move there. Okay. Similarly, you've got the same correction, but this time in the opposite direction as the trend. So what is happening here now? Is this what we are going to get? Are we going to get now a move like this, which we've been looking for since the correction started? I've been looking for a deeper move like that. So are we going to get this one here? Okay, giving us this first correction as a W, it's an X, it's an Y. Similarly here, you will have a W, an X, and then a Y. What should happen after that? After that, we should get a big move to the downside on the DXY that we're looking for, and a big move to the upside on the Euro. So that the DXY is at the top. So it's just the inverse. Okay. So we should get a down move short term on Euro US dollar, short term on Euro US dollar, and then a big move to the upside on the DXY. Okay. Just see if there's a comment here on the chat box. Okay, so I'm going to switch off YouTube. Let me just pause here. All right, so this is what we're looking at on both pairs. So I'm going to take off US dollar index and just focus specifically on Euro US dollar. Okay, let's clear everything and look at Euro US dollar and how we can trade it going into the next trading session from Monday. Okay. So we're just going to be looking at this corrective structure. So you can see that they've got a lot of letters there. That doesn't mean anything if you don't understand the structure. So the structure is still this 1, 2, 3. I actually prefer not to put in the labelings, but because of some of you would like to see this, I'm putting it up there, okay, on this pair. So this is what we'll be looking for this move to come and give us a B here. Remember, we've got this one completed. We've got this one as an ace. It's an X there. And we're now looking for this move. So you need to get a correction here for downside. Okay. And these moves don't just move randomly. They move at specific fib levels. Let me show you what I said a couple of weeks ago on this pair. So when we were going down here, remember this is an X. Let me mark it again. So I want to make this very clear. This 1, 2, 3. This is your X. 1, 2, 3. So your new correction. So this is the connector. So this one here is supposed to bounce at the 618. Okay. Okay. So this is supposed to bounce at the 618. So this is how you get the 618 from there to there back there, then you see that this one bounced exactly at the 618, and then it went for an X. If you look at the video that I did on how to trade double XY like a pro, you will find this. We know that this leg bounces here. Okay, so we bought this actually, and now we actually sold this one here. Now we're expecting this move to the downside. Okay, so we're waiting for the correction to get this last leg here to the downside. We actually thought that this was gonna make a bit of a push higher, but that would still have been, even if it had pushed up higher, that would still have been an X, and then it will still have come down like that. So when it was making this V pattern here, we could see it and we traded it. Okay, so let me just show you how we do with this in our group. So we use we use Slack for our group, and as you can see, we've got all the pairs on the left hand side there. So each and every pair is specifically has its own channel. So now we're looking at Euro US dollar, and you can see that this was posted on the 19th of April before we had this move. And we had all of that sequence labeled up, and we knew that we needed to get this move down. So we already got this move down. Now we want a correction. We don't know how deep it's gonna be, but when it's complete, we know that we're going to get the last move to the downside. See, this is how it works. So each and every pair has got its own channel. So as much as we've got a lot of members in the group, everything is so well organized. Okay, so if you've got a specific idea on a pair, you just go into the workspace, the Slack workspace, and you look for ideas and look for what other members are looking for. And there's also a channel where only I specifically send, so guys can get to see my analysis. So that works amazingly well. So that's what we're looking for. Euro US dollar, look for the flag to get this last move to the downside. So this could have actually, this could have even been like that, made this move like that, and made one up before it went up. That would still have been acceptable. So then that would have been an ABC, and then your X would have been there, because then you would have had your B being an expanding, a regular flat there. Okay, and it will still have been exactly the same move that we're expecting, and the structure would not have changed one bit. See how interesting this is. So amazing. Okay, so we can actually trade these small moves. This is not the move that we're looking for. Even though we sold here, that's not the move that we're looking for. Okay, we're looking for this move. We're looking for that move. Okay, so let's look at pound US dollar. Pound US dollar, go and watch last week's analysis. Some people actually made a lot of money in our group, and some were actually telling me that they've made enough for the month. Okay, we're a couple of days away. We're still a couple of days from month end, but some have already reached their monthly target. Okay, so go and watch what we said about this and see how amazing the analysis is. Because this is how waves move, by the way. So I firstly showed you, I'm going to show you again what I showed you last week. The overall structure, because you cannot just go into the lower time frame, which is the mistake most people do. A lot of people just go into the 60-minute chart. So I'm going to take off my labeling there and show you the structure. So this is what I've been looking at, and it's not just lines. It's the waves with their degrees, very clearly related. So the degrees must be related. That's very important. So we looked at the first correction as a zigzag, this one as a running flat, and this one as a zigzag, which is this one here. So I said this is a W, this is a X, this is a Y. So I want to show you, when you take a trade, you just don't take it, you take it based on the structure, on the sequence, and on the cycle. Right, so what do we have here? We've got W, which is this first, the X and the Y. So last week we were here, this was going up. And this is what we had. We said we've got 1, 2, 3 down here. So here also we were going up like that. So we said if this comes here and takes the top, we should expect reversal, because then that will make this move. And if it makes that move, that simply means that that's the W, that's the X, Y, X, Z. We're expecting two possibilities here, that this X would have completed and this will then make a Z like that. But it seems like this X needed to be more. That's why it looks like it is now becoming a regular flat. So that is why we sold the pound. That is why we sold the pound right here when it takes the top, because we could see the structure that it was making. All right, so if it had corrected here, then we would have known that this is the X and that we're going for a Z. So as much as we know that the move is bullish, but we know that it does not go in a straight line, we still need to get one more move down. So this is the move that we're getting down now. Couple of 100 pips. How many pips that we have here? We've got about almost 300 pips on this one. A lot of money. And this is also just to show you how we do it on our group. We've actually recently migrated to this great platform, and I don't have shares at Slack, but it's a brilliant platform. I can't stop talking about it. One of our members actually suggested that we do this, and it works amazing. So this is pound US dollar. So as I said, every pair has got its own channel. This was the initial analysis. Before it happened, we were looking for it to break. You can see we were looking for it to break and then come down. So that's another thing when you trade. You don't want to chase. You want to anticipate the trades. So that was that. So I want to show you the update when it was about to play out. When we had the move, you see what we were expecting happened. It broke the top, made the move, and we could see that it's time to enter. Okay. So now we're entering. Why are we entering here? Because we're looking for this move, this expanding flat for a move to the upside. Okay. So when you trade like this, that is why when you trade wave analysis, you trade with so much confidence. Okay, so this structure can be a 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. Then it becomes that, and then we're still gonna get a move to the upside, just like that. Okay, so let's get on with the rest of the pairs. So I want to show you something else amazing about what I'm doing here. US dollar chief. Let's just load US dollar chief here. So US dollar chief, I have to show you a video that I did last year, August. And you'll see, let's see if I can find that video. If I can just check it on my channel. Let's look at the videos. 7 August, you will see that analysis on US dollar chief. And it is still playing out even today. Look at that. I was looking at this, and this is on the day, this is on the weekly. So I was looking for a diagonal on US dollar chief. Okay, so let me just give it a bit of, let me just get it to play a few seconds so you can see, and then we're gonna go back to the real chart. Even if you can't hear the sound, but I'm sure you can follow what's happening. So if I just pause it there, I know that the view may not be so good. So this is the ABC move that I was forecasting on the 7th of August, 2017. So let's go back to the chart and see. So this is what we were looking for. This is that ABC move, this ABC. And now we are going for that wave 5. Okay, let me just show you the whole picture as was on that video. I'll show you what we're looking at. So here is it. So that was the ABC for making the wave 4 within the diagonal. That was the first move, which was a 1. And you see here there's a spike. You need to be clever with this, you know, because this is a 3-wave move. Looks like an expanding flat. Okay, and there's a spike. I remember some members were saying that we should do full analysis on chief pairs because there's this spike that confuses them when they do the analysis. So just to show you that spikes are part of price market data. So what are we anticipating here? We've got that ABC that you saw in the video and the full diagonal, and now we're getting this one here, and we are going for that wave 5. See, from last year. So if you know where the market is going the whole time, you are able to trace it. When you are within the B and you're going for wave 4, obviously you're going to be selling, and now you're on the up and you now going for that wave 5. But when this started here, actually it started correctively, so I thought this move was not complete, so I was still looking for one more down. If you saw the analysis in the last 3 weeks, we're still looking for one more down here. Okay, but now we can see that this has actually completed because we've got a nice move to the upside. So let's just zoom in a little bit where we are currently. So now you know the way you're going. Let's go 4 hour. So we are going with this structure here. So let's switch that off. And this structure is the one that is building a wave 4. Okay, so this looks something like this. You can see there's a relationship between this one and the pound structure. We've got 3 waves and a running flat in between. You've got another 3 waves here. So at some point here, you need to get, let me do that. You need to get a deeper corrective structure for the move to the upside. So you don't trade this move. This is a corrective move. You wait for the structure to form before you take the trade. So this will be your WXY. And then in the lower degree, will be your WXYs. So you can label this if you want, WXY, WXY. So this correction that will happen here, that's the one that you're going to take for a further move to the upside. Very interesting. Okay, so that's a USDJPY. You just need to wait for a corrective structure. Right now, there's nothing here. It's just an impulsive move up. Now, if you're not in this trade, I'm also not in this trade, you need to wait for a corrective structure. Okay, if it makes this one, then I'm going to write it on to complete the wave 5. Okay, that's USDJPY. Let's do AUD US dollar. So here there's something very interesting about degrees that you need to see. Okay, but before I show you that, let me show you now the whole structure. I was looking at this in 2 different ways, but I can see now clearly which one it's making. Okay. That's all right, Chris. See you in the premium group later. Okay, so this AUD US dollar could just be making this structure. And that structure looks like a W, X, Y, X, Z. So where are we now? We are busy building this one, this leg to complete this structure. So, and it's coming down nicely. It's coming down nicely with a V pattern. I'm going to show you the 2 V patterns that we looked at here. So if this comes here, takes this bottom here, and we'll be expecting this to push out of here. So this, as we are expecting euro to come down a little bit more to complete that last leg, we're expecting AUD US dollar to come and complete this last leg here for the last move to the upside. So after that Z, we're going to be looking for a big move to the downside. Okay, but right now let's focus on this move. So we need to get this move here. Okay, so let's go right here and show you the two V patterns that we looked at. And the first one has played out. And if I go to the 4 hour, last week I showed you two V patterns, the larger one and the smaller one. So this one here, the straight with straight lines, very interesting. There was the bigger one. It's still in play. This was the bigger one, which is still in play. The smaller one has played out. This one, see this one here. This up move was as a result of this smaller V pattern. You see the difference? As much as we've got two here, the bigger one still needs to play. And if it comes down here, and it may even be making this pattern here, advanced pattern traders, look out for this one. It may even be making this pattern. Oh, it's already there. The Gatli, which can reverse around the 78 area, because this is a Gatli pattern. So as much as we're coming down here now, we may come down, maybe one more up and a down, but eventually we're going to get this move up based on the larger V pattern. This analysis is so accurate. The V pattern is so accurate. Okay, this one played out. So if it will be a bit of a risk to take this one to the downside now because it's very close to the reversal area. And if you like and you're confident and you know what you're doing and you've got a strategy for it, you can take this short move to the downside. This one does not mean it will go here. It may come back for one more before we go. Okay, but we'll update that. New Zealand, interesting. Abdis, correlating pairs is not something you can explain quickly. If you remember, I said we're going to do a seminar on correlating pairs in the premium group. So we cannot do it here. Here we're just doing analysis. Don't worry, we'll do that. Okay, so New Zealand US dollar, that's what we have. And this is what you have. Similar to what we have on the Euro US dollar, you've got a W. Your first structure is a W. That's the X. And then you're now looking for this one to complete this one. So all of this will be making a WXY correction. And if you look here internally, let me do this with a green color or a blue color, maybe it will be visible. This goes in three waves: 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Oops. Do that quickly again. My mouse jumped. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So we're expecting this one. See how it moves. Three waves, three waves. All of this is just moving in three waves all around. So now we're waiting for this bounce here for a further move to the downside. Okay, so that's what you're going to be looking at. Look for corrective structure here. Be careful. This may not go all. It's actually, I'm not expecting it to go all the way. It's close to the reversal area. That's why I'm saying be careful and not marry that trade. We are waiting for this big one. This is the one that we're looking for. Okay, so I think that concludes all the US dollar pairs, and we can just do an exotic one, which is US dollar ZAR. That's the only one I do for the of the exotic pairs. So US dollar ZAR, US dollar ZAR. So US dollar ZAR, the structure that is currently forming, this is how we're looking at it for the last couple of weeks. We're looking at this as a whole move like that with an expanding flat in the middle. See, we got this one around the 2015 area. That's what we forecasted. And now it is making this correction here. So we need to see which one it's making. Here looks like it made a zigzag down. This is what I was expecting with this correction. I was expecting that it was going to make this 1, 2, 3 because it made a 1, 2, 3 there. And I was expecting this one and then this one here to come and retest for a down before it goes. But instead, it did not make a flat. It made a zigzag. You can see here, it's a zigzag. Okay. So after the zigzag, we got the move to the upside. So we need to see if you get a corrective flag here, corrective structure, you can take it for a further move like that to the upside. Okay, so looks like a bit more weakness for the US dollar, for the South African rand. Okay, so that's what you're going to be looking for that flag. Okay, so let's do the yen pair. US dollar JPY. So US dollar JPY showing you the overall structure. This structure I've been showing since July last year. It's playing out well. So let's look at it now. Just loading it again. So we're expecting reversal around the 104 area. We've been talking about 104 when we were still here. Not even here. We're talking about 104 from here. Okay, so now it went around the 104 area. I actually wanted it deeper than 104.61. I wanted it around 104, 102, but that's fine. So if that is a reversal, and that looks like it's making a reversal with a diagonal, with a leading diagonal, but we're going to talk about that just now. So it made an impulsive move to the upside, made a correction, as you can see, and this correction ends here. The red correction ends there. That is your 1, that's your 2, that's your 3. And internally, you've got a 1, 2, 3. And all of that is simply giving you a WX. And then we've completed this. Looks like we've completed this Y right here at the bottom. Okay, but we need to be careful here because this Y may not be complete. I'm going to show you why just now. Because we are looking at this as a move down, a pullback, and this one here, let's check this one here internally. So 1, 2, 3. So this, if we do this one in the green degree, this can still be an expanding flat. And if it is an expanding flat, that means this is a 1, this is a 2, this is a 3, this is a 4, and we're going to break for one more down, which will be a 5, and it will go to the area that I want, which is between 104 and 102, and then we're going to get this move. And that move is this one. And that move was over 3,000 pips. Okay? That move was 3,000 pips. So that is still a possibility. If that is not the case, because you need to have an alternative count. If that is not the case, and this has made the reversal, that means then that your 4 is this one. Your 4 is this one, and your 5 is this one. And now you're starting this move with a diagonal, and this is going to start a 1, 2, 3 to the upside. So let's come to this point here and see what's going to happen if it is starting a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the upside. We're going to go to the 4-hour. Okay, 4-hour. So this is what I was looking at last week, that we have started a leading diagonal here. That's clear. Do that with yellow now. So yellow is clearer. That we've started a leading diagonal like that. Actually, last week we were here, so this is how we were looking at it. That this is a 1, there's a 2, there's a 3, that's a 4, that's a 5. And if that is a 5, we're expecting, I said I was expecting a 1, 2, 3, ABC. Okay, you see here, I showed you a zigzag last week, but it looks like it's not going to make a zigzag. It may make a flat correction. So after this zigzag, I'm expecting a move to the upside. So if that is the case, then this first diagonal is your wave 1, and this ABC is your wave 2. Okay, so what is happening here does not change the structure at all. We're still expecting a 3-wave move, only that this 3-wave move will not be a zigzag, but a flat correction. Let's clean it out and see what the flat correction will look like. You see here, it has already made this one here. It took the top and reversed, but that's not confirmation. It will confirm once this one breaks to the downside here. So a break here and flag, we're coming down here. And if that is the case, then we have now got our wave to here. And your ABC will be this one. From there, then you get that big move to the upside that we're looking for, because that will then be going for a wave 3. And that will be a big move to the upside. Okay, so we need to look at both possibilities. If that is not the case, and this is the expanding flat, as I said previously, then that will go one more down before we go. So right now, next move, immediate move, look out for a break of this. Just go to the 1 hour and see if there's any indication of that breaking down. All right. So this is what you're going to be looking for. If it breaks down here, but right now it made what looks like an expanding flat there. So it looks like it may get one more up for another down. Okay. So either way, the structure will remain. This will still be your A. This will still be your B. That's your C. So that's why you will only trade this when you've got a flag here. Okay. That's USDJPY. Let's do the rest of the yen pairs. Euro, yen. So the yen pairs have been accurate. If you watch last week's video, there's nothing new to add here. Last week's analysis on the yen pairs is still valid. Okay, so what was I looking for? And this chart I've been showing for the last couple of weeks, this 3 waves here. So the nice thing about this 3-wave pullback is that it's ending with a V pattern, and that V pattern has now broken to the downside. And if it has broken to the downside, you just need to wait for the flag, take it at least to the 61% of this swing. Okay, then you're gonna expect a bounce and overall a big bearish move to the downside. And showing you the daily again, why you want it to go down. Just loading the daily. Sorry, Harry, I missed your question talking about flag break. It depends. It depends on the degree that you are trading. It depends on the degree that you're trading. So if you're trading a daily flag break and a 4-hour flag break, it will be totally different. The conditions that you look at. So that's part of the strategy development topic that we do in our course, right? So this is 1, 2, 3. I'm expecting this 1, 2, 3. Okay. And then I'm going to expect a big move to the upside. So if we break down here, we get a flag, we're going to be expecting this move to the downside. That's what we said. 3 weeks ago, I said we wanted to tag. It has tagged, and now it looks like it has reversed. Very nice. Very accurate. Still expecting a big move to the upside, but that's way ahead. Immediately, on the immediate term, we are right here, and we're looking for a move down. Look for that move down on the 1 hour. Chief, similar. We expected the same, and it has already played out. Chief yen. So Chief yen, if I go to the 4 hour, it has also made this 3-wave pullback, tagged and reversed. That's what we were looking at. Let's go to the 4 hour, see what we looked at there. No problem. Hurry. Okay, so 1, 2, tagged, broke, actually made a zigzag, 3-wave pullback, and reversed. That's what I'm expecting on EURJPY as well. Maybe a bounce here, Because you can see this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe a bounce there or a continuation move to the downside. Otherwise, it can even make one more up, making this a flat correction. Okay, so this will tell you if you get a corrective flag, it's actually at a very critical point. Whatever it does here, it will tell us. If we start correcting, we are going down. We're going down. If we get an impulse, we're going to make that before we go down. Overall move is down. Okay, overall move is down. Okay, so that's chief. And then looking at the rest of the yen pairs, last week all of the yen pairs had done this move. Let's look at Audi. So when you watch these videos, if you're watching the latest video, don't just watch the latest video, because you may find that in the previous video I was more detailed than the current. So watch also the previous videos as well. That may help you. So this is what we're looking at, not like that. So all of the yen pairs were here last week. They'd made this down move. So we said, wait for a corrective flag for downside. This one made a V pattern, made a move up. It did not give an opportunity to enter if you needed to sell. You could have only sold it there for that move. Okay. If you had sold it, you could not have sold it there because it did not give you a trigger. And if you look at New Zealand as well, okay, let me finish the analysis and then we'll talk about the course later. When I'm done with the video at the end, after I've stopped the recording, then we can talk about the course. Let's do the analysis. All right, so all of the yen pairs, so this one was clear and this was making this flag last week, Sunday. So we said, let it completed, and then it broke. That's what you would have had. Okay, so what do you expect now? You're expecting a correction for continuation move to the downside. Similar to CAD, exactly the same. All of them were doing the same thing. This one had made this move. Let's move it a bit up. So this one made this move. Last week with the analysis was wait for this flag to complete and expect a move similar to this. Go and watch. I said expect a move similar to this. That's where you are. Okay, so you've got 1, 2, 3. So now we need to see what happens here, whether you're going to get a correction for further downside. Otherwise, if you get an impulsive move and a flag, you're going to retest here. Okay, if you retest, come back for one and then go. So bullish overall. Okay, that's CAD. Now let's look at the pound pairs. Look at pound chief. Pound chief. So I'm going to show it again. This relationship between pound chief and New Zealand US dollar, it's not actually a relationship. It's similar patterns. I'm gonna show you. Look on the right hand side, and look how amazing this is. I'm gonna go daily on both. Daily on this one, and look at the pattern that is playing out. That's exactly the same as on New Zealand. So I want you to look at this pair on New Zealand, this one here, at this piece here, and on pound Swiss. Maybe I should go daily on pound Swiss as well, so you can see this amazing similarity. And if you've got that kind of similarity, I cannot imagine how you can trade with that confidence, and how you can actually lose money when you've got this at your disposal. Very difficult. Somebody was telling us in our group, somebody was just recently joined and I've started watching the videos. Even before I attended the course, was actually telling me that he, for the first time after 5 years of trading, has actually started withdrawing some profits. Okay, so let's go back. So these are not the same pairs. This is pound CHF, this is New Zealand US dollar. Look what happens. You've got an impulse. You've got 1, 2, 3. That 1, 2, 3. So on the right hand side, you've got New Zealand US dollar, impulse at a 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's carry on with the New Zealand US dollar because this one has already completed its structure. So this one goes up with an impulse and then it starts slowing down like that. So we are expecting that this one did the same thing here and then it started slowing down here, as you can see. After that slow down move, it made this one here. Let's look at New Zealand. New Zealand is ahead, so we're following New Zealand. We're expecting what happened on the right hand side. So this one also, after that slowing down, it made an impulsive move down. And look what happened. It made a V pattern and went up. It made a V pattern and went up. You see, this is only happening now. This happened last year, July. This is happening now. Okay, so after that move, you can see we had that sharp move to the upside. Very sharp move to the upside. Very sharp move to the upside. What happened after that sharp move? You had this sharp move to the downside. Now you are in this move here, which may be the sharp move to the downside. But as you can see, that after that move, this carried on, slowed down, kept pushing, but then eventually came down. So we'll be expecting that this will follow the same move, down, keep pushing, slows down, and eventually come down. Okay? Exactly the same. Exactly the same. Last year, now. Sorry, last year, 2017. This is 2017. This is now. But look at the structures. Okay? It's exactly the same. All right, so what you're going to be looking at on pound CHF is continuation to the downside. Let's go pound CHF, and we're going to go 1 hour on pound CHF. 4 hour. So on the 4 hour, you can see that this is quite corrective going down, corrective going down. So even if it goes down like that, when it breaks out of this channel, then it will start that move to the upside that we're looking for, similar to what the New Zealand US dollar did. Okay, so right now you need to keep selling this one short term. It's not the move that's going to go all the way down. So that's pound CHF, pound CAD. Right, so pound CAD, what was the analysis last week? We said this, and you've got the big correction here in the middle. We're expecting this. Similar to that, I'm expecting that. So it's not something that's easy to trade. As you can see, it moves, retraces, moves, retraces. It wants somebody who is strong and knows what they're doing, and you're confident. So you need to get also a sell setup, a proper sell setup here for you to enter to the downside, because this is not going aggressively. Okay, so you need to keep an eye on this one like that. It's not something that I will take now. So if I get a flag here, I may take it for 1 up, but overall that will just be making an even bigger corrective structure. Okay, but the pound looks like it's downside at this stage. That's pound CAD, pound AUD. So pound AUD looked like it was making a textbook regular flat with that move and that move, and now it looks like it's going to make this one. This may be a three-wave structure here. All of this. One more down, and then we go. So look for quite a sizable structure there, but not so big, something similar to this. Should be similar in size as this one. For one more down before you go. So it's still busy building up that one. Looks like it's going to make one down, impulse up, can even do something like this for a down, and that will be same as that. Then that will give you a WXY, and then you can go. Okay, that's pound Audi, pound New Zealand. All right, so pound New Zealand. Pound New Zealand on the 4 hour. So pound New Zealand, we're looking for something like this. This, come and test the top there. Okay, but now we are in this move here. We're looking at this as a correction. We want it to come and take that top over there. Then that will make a 3-3 flat for a move up like that. Okay, so we are getting this correction here. We're going to look closely into the correction because now all the pound pairs are bearish. Let's look what's happening with pound New Zealand. So pound New Zealand, we've got this impulsive move here. So it may still come and do something like that because that will be a 1, that will be a 2, that will be a 3. So a bit of a push lower, but that push lower is just building up this flag because I still want pound New Zealand to go and retest the top there as I've shown in that higher time frame. So it's not easy to trade down this one down. Nice one was the pound to US dollar that we are currently trading to the downside. Okay. I don't know if I showed you the target for pound US dollar. I think I actually did. Okay, so let's carry on with the Euro pairs, EURUSD. Before EURUSD, let's finish the pound pairs. So we're going to do Euro pound. Okay, so Euro pound. Somebody actually asked me to do a bit of a detailed analysis last week, and I did quite a bit of detail. Obviously, not as we would do in our group, but enough for these webinars. We sold pound last year around this area. We sold it here because it attacked that top and reversed. That's what we were looking at. Pushed, and when it tagged and we gave us a sell setup, can't see the sell setup here because we're on the higher time frame. We made this move down. So we were expecting that it will make a correction and it's going to continue back down. It has been sitting there since November last year, but we can see clearly what the structure is. And the structure is this 1, 2, 3. That's what we're looking at. We looked for 1, 2, 3 there. 2, 3. Right, so this is a V pattern that we're anticipating. Last week, there was a short move here, and I said we need to buy this one here because it's reversing from the low end of the V pattern. So if you're taking this, you should be in good profits. So if you're not a loss, you can wait for a correction. This correction on the 1 hour, you wait for it to break out, maybe down, and then up. So this will be a 3. This will be a 3. If it takes here, a down, and then we go again. All right. So watch last week's analysis on this. You will see that you should have taken it here clearly. All right. So this is very accurate. So let me show you on the 4 where we were last week. I mean, those of you that are watching these videos should be benefiting quite a bit, even if you're not in our premium group, because some of the trades were very nicely explained here. This is where we were last week. We're busy with this, so you should have got this move now, and it is still continuing for upside. All right. The rest of the Euro pairs now, EURUSD. Great, so EURUSD, As I've been saying for the last couple of weeks, you do not sell Euro Audi. You keep buying it every time it makes corrections. You keep buying this. So even if it was doing this, that, and that was nothing other than a three-wave pullback, and we can see the lower degree, it's all in three waves, and it has now made the three waves here. So you need to get, if you get a correction, you can take it up. Okay, don't know if this is gonna go straight up or come back for one more, make a regular flat and go. But either way, if you're not in the trade here, you can still, it's not too late, you can still take it here if you wait for a clear correction with the right size. So this one is very, very easy. You keep buying the corrections, keep buying the corrections. All right, so another alternative here, and you can see that I've got a blue box there. Let me show you the significance of that blue box. That blue box, if this is a W and this is an X, then this may make one more down before it goes up. But that doesn't mean it's going down. It's just making a bigger, a larger corrective structure for one more up. Okay, so that's why you need to wait and see which one is it gonna make. Okay, if this is a WXY that has completed, then we are going. So this WXY, if it is the one and the size is right, then we are going to the upside. And that you will see by this making this correction like that for upside. Okay, very easy. And then Euro New Zealand. So Euro New Zealand, a little bit tricky at this stage because what we were looking for was more downside. Let's switch this off. So we have 1, 2, 3. We're looking for this as a 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it made this one, and I was expecting it to bounce and give us one more. Okay, but it looks like this one may be a little bit deeper than we anticipated and make this one. So that will still be this first correction, second correction. So you're not first correction, your X, and then the second correction. So let's see which one we get here. So it may get a corrective structure, come here. It may even break this top here. If it breaks the top, it's just going to make an expanding one. So it can break the top and even return and reverse here. And that would be a running flat. Okay, easy. But I'm not taking any new trades here until I get a corrective structure here, like that. Or an impulsive move, like that. Okay, that's Euro New Zealand, Euro Audi, EURCAD. Buy and take profits, buy and take profits, buy and take profits at this stage. Because the long-term view is upside. So you can take daily trades, 4-hourly trades, or 1-hourly trade, depending on what you like. But I'm not holding the weekly. No, I'm not holding the weekly. Thanks for reminding me. We're gonna look at pound JPY. We should have done pound JPY with a yen pair. So immediately after this one, after the euros, I'm gonna do pound JPY as well. All right, so EURCAD daily. What are we looking at here? Just loading EURCAD. Show you why we had this downside. That's the move. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So we wanted this. Remember, we've been trading this until it tagged here. We traded it from right here, and we traded all these 800 pips up to here, anticipating that it will tag and reverse. You can see that it tagged and reversed. Then it came down, but that move is not aggressively sharp, this move. So we need to see if anything has changed with our down move, because we're expecting that this move will come back to this level. Okay, so let's go right where we are today, and that's on the 4-hour. Still coming, Ahmed. So this is the move. It did not happen. It's not going aggressively, but it does not change the structure, however. So we've got the move down. We've got 1, 2, 3 waves. We've got 1, 2, 3 up. Looks like you're getting this one here. But overall, what this could do here, this structure could do something like this. A bigger structure, and if it makes a bigger structure, then you're going to get this move here. You're going to get it similarly here. So keep an eye on this one. It's not very tradable at this stage because it's going, see, this one was not very aggressive, even if we sold this one, but now it's making this one. So this one will still break to the downside. Okay, let's finish the euros and we'll do silver and gold. Did I mean this? Any euro pair, chief? Right, so chief. Watch here. This is very interesting on chief. We want chief. I want chief. Overall target. Let's load it up on the daily. What do you think is the analysis here on chief? Okay, so last time we bought chief here 3 weeks ago. I said buy chief here. On a Sunday, we had this popping out here and said when market opens, buy it. But my target was only here. My target was only up to here, not all of that. Okay, but there's something that's coming out here that's very clear and interesting. Okay, why was I targeting that area first? I was anticipating that this will make A1 and up, but this one went up with a 5-wave move. Okay, not a 3-wave move for it to come back with a corrective structure. So what are we looking at now? You do not ignore the spikes. That is that spike on the chief. Every pair that has got a chief on it, you'll find that it's got this spike. You can see that this made a 1, 2. This is a 3. How far will this 3 go? I'm anticipating that that 3 will come and retest the top there. If it retests the top or even break it, that will just be a simple expanding flat on the daily. You see you've got a sequence on the daily where you know where the market is going. So chief, what you need on the lower time frame is corrective structures targeting this level initially. This is not a short move, this is a daily, so it's about 400-600 pips on this that you can still get to the upside on chief. Doesn't go in a straight line. You need to get confirmations, the sequences must be right, your cycles must be right, and you must know when to enter. What is happening now on the 1 hour? What do we have? Let's see. Right now, it's pretty corrective. You've got this, you could look at this as an expanding flat, and you've got an impulse up here. Yes, look for this flag and take it up. Still bullish. All right, so that's all the euro pairs. Let's do silver and gold. Did I miss any euro pair, any pound pair, any US dollar pair? If I did, please just mention it there. But before we do that, let's do pound yen. Okay, so pound yen, somebody on YouTube actually said, I got pound yen dead wrong. So as soon as somebody speaks like that, you can already tell that the mentality is wrong. The idea here is not to be right or wrong. The idea is to make loads and loads of money. So it's not about who can be the wrong most of the time. It's about who can make the most money. And it's not even competition. If you're making enough money, that's enough for yourself, then that's it. So why did I get the pound yen in inverted commas wrong? The thing is, when you're doing wave analysis, you can analyze what the market is giving you at that point. And as it unfolds, that's why you need to make adjustments. So what were we looking at here? We're looking at this as a 1, 2, 3 waves. And here it started looking corrective. And when it gives me this corrective structure, I expect only one move and the continuation of the downside. Okay, and I have been expecting this continuation of the downside from 1, 2, 3. I was expecting downside here. Okay, you get a short move and it was making a V pattern. You didn't get the downside. After it made this one, I was expecting downside again. Why? Because it was a W. Here it was a WXY. Okay, let's build it from from the smaller degrees and see why we expect what we are looking at. So here you get this 1, 2, 3 WXY, or no, not WXY, ABC rather. You can see there's a clear ABC structure. A, B, C. After this, what do I expect? I expect for the move to go down. But does it go down? No. What does it do? What it does instead, it gives you that ABC becomes a W, this one becomes an X, you get another one. You get another 1, 2, 3. This time a zigzag. What does that become now? It becomes a Y. That is what the market is giving me right now. And that's what I put on, right? Let's look at that. So that's a WXY. So when it was a WXY, what I was expecting, I'm expecting downside again. Okay, but what am I going to sell? I'm only going to sell when it gives me a clear impulse and a correction. Until I get that, I am not going to take the trade. Okay, so let's carry on with this and see how this goes. Okay, so I get that WXY. It still doesn't go. What does that mean? The same thing again. The same thing, which will now be, this will be a W, this will be your X, this will be a Y. After that, can this go? This can now go. Why? Because the degree is right. It means this degree was not right for this swing. And see how the market unfolds. It builds smaller structures, but as it builds, you know and understand what is going on, so you can actually trade it. It's not about being wrong or right. It's about what the market can give you, what is clear. Okay? There's nothing beastly about GJ. It's just how market unfolds. Here, the degree was just smaller. It was not ready to go, so it did not go. And you could not have forecasted that. But you could have said, okay, this is too big to be corrected by just this small one. So this one, I expected to get another one. But I didn't expect that it was going to give us this one because this looked decent for me for downside. Okay? So that's how that unfolds. So now, actually, this looks a little bit different because this can now even be, this could now even be a leading diagonal like that, making this an A, B, a C. And if that is the case, this could be a W. Depending on how this unfolds, you could get a X here. And if you get an X, that means you're still going to get more upside. Just like that. Okay? So if you don't know what you're doing, that's how you're going to be losing money. And it's not about being right or wrong. Here, we're here to make the bottom line. And that is money. That's why I'm here and I boldly state what I think without fear, but confident. And I'm not scared of being wrong. That is why I can be confident like that. So if you're trading and you're scared of being wrong, you're always going to lose money. So you cannot be afraid of being wrong. Okay? So you just need to be more right than you are wrong. Right? So here you look for corrections. Overall target will be down here. If it doesn't get there, then we are looking for that WXY. But for now, we're looking for a further move to the downside, at least to the 61% of this whole swing. Easy. Okay. Good one, Kozo. Yes, if you know what you're doing, then you'll make lots and lots of money. So that's pound, yen. Let's do silver and gold. It's all about making loads and loads of money. Gold. So what are we looking at on gold? Last week, we looked at this as an expanding flat that was happening here, down, break the top. We're now looking for this to come down as well. So we're looking for this to come down here. So you're getting that move to the downside. Okay. Overall, the structure is still 1, 2, 3, similar to Euro US dollar. We're looking at 1, 2, 3 as well. Okay, and let me show you what the overall structure we'll be looking at is here. We're looking for this to do this 1, 2, and then a 3. Okay, so this may even come back down here to this level. Still be a WXY. Right, so what are we going to expect here? We're going to expect a corrective flag for continuation of downside, similar to all the US dollar pairs. You're expecting short-term dollar strength. Okay, that's gold, silver. Silver, that V pattern played out eventually. Silver, the V pattern played out. Okay, so you need to get a clear corrective structure here to come and take the top here. But if gold is bearish the way it looks right now, we need to look at what is happening in the 1 hour first. Okay, let's go to the 1 hour. So 1 hour looks like we got this move, may still keep doing that. Okay, so gold is bearish short term, so is silver as well, even though this may be a little bit corrective and a bit more sideways. So it's not going to be clear for now. So you will only trade this when this structure is completed. So it's going to go correctively like that. So wait for it to complete this structure for upside. That's silver. Okay, so let's look at some CAD pairs. Okay, we'll start with, before we start with the CAD pairs, let's look at the Audi New Zealand. Glad to hear it, Abdi. Glad to hear that. You guys are doing well. You guys are doing extremely well. Right, so what are we looking at? Audi New Zealand. We're looking for this pattern here as well. Over and above wave analysis, you are looking for that pattern. You can see it reversed here on the 88, and that's what we've been looking at for the last couple of days. So we need to wait for continuation pattern to take it all the way up. It's going to be a big trade to the upside. Okay, but first target the 61% up to that level. See if you get a bounce there for further up. Okay, so that's what we're looking at on Audi New Zealand. Audi New Zealand. EURAUD is my favorite pair. That's why it's always on my lips. Right, so let's look at this piece here. What has happened? 1, 2, 3. Internally, you can see these structures become very clear. 1, 2, 3. That's the lower degree. You see that the lower degrees fit snugly into the higher degrees. So here, you need to get a corrective flag to confirm upside. You still have this channel here. Okay, the channel has been broken, so all you need is a lower degree flag. Okay, that's what you're going to be looking at. So if we're putting in numbers here and letters, this would have been your W. This would have been your WXY and your lower degrees as well, similar. And then you start looking for that move. Easy. AUDCAD, similar. AUDCAD. So AUDCAD. Wait for this. Come back here, at least. That flag. That's all you need to look for. Just look for this to make a corrective flag. Come retest this level. Okay, so New Zealand CAD. It's a very interesting one. Actually don't want to look at this one here. Let's look at the one from ICE. This pair is just so perfect, yet so seemingly complicated. Okay, so we did this one in detail right after our course. So on the day that we finished the course, this was the practical that we were applying. So this is the stuff that we labeled during our practicals, not the easy stuff that everybody can do. Okay, so we can see that this was making this whole string here and this correction here, and then we're looking for that string again. That string is not completed. You can see the sequence is not there yet. Where are we right now? Where we are is here in this green degree. You can see that the green degree started here and made the red degree. So the green degree has started. We are looking to make the red degree. Okay. And if you follow all these degrees from the blue one here, going back, you can see that within the lower red, we've got the blue degree. The lower red is always blue all the way. The sequence goes like that. The lower red, you've got the blue. So you are here and you are on the lower red, correction, the X, because the X's are the ones where we take our trades. So this X is currently what's happening right now. We're just waiting for the Y because the Y's are the impulsive moves. Okay, if you relate all of that, you'll see that the sequence just keeps going exactly like that. It's the kind of structures that we label. So you see here, you've got a zigzag. So now we are here within this X and we want to take it up. And if I go to the 1 hour, we look at the W between the W and the X, the current string. This is what we're looking at right now. So I said last week, this pair is going one way and one way only, and that is up. If I'm wrong, so be it. Because that's not the game we're playing, the right or right game, the right or wrong game. So what I have now noticed is that this is not necessarily a V pattern, but rather an ending diagonal, perfect ending diagonal. So what you have here is an A, it's a B. Now you're getting a 1, 2, 3. It's a 1, 2, 3, 4. Your 5 pushes out of the diagonal, which we expect. So now we're waiting for this to make that. And then we're going to wait for this to go back and retest that top over there. Let's take that off. So diagonal, you expect it to have 3 waves all around. You can see, okay, this is a B actually. So your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 should all have 3 waves, and it ticks the boxes. Ticks the boxes. You can't see this one here. Ticks the boxes. So you've got a wave 5 that pushes lower. We expect that. And when it pushes lower, that's what we want. Because when it goes up, it goes up with a strong move. So what you're gonna wait for now is a flag on the 1 hour to take it up there. Initially, you can just target the 61% and trail the stop from there. So what you have now is already that reversal from wave 5, and you can just look for this flag here. This was already posted in our group under New Zealand CAD, like many other pairs. That's how we do New Zealand CAD. See, we know where the market is going. And this is a daily. We know we're just waiting for this X, and when it completes, we're all gonna get the trigger and we're gonna take it. When we get there, we're gonna wait for this one to complete the bigger X. After completing the bigger X, we know that the move is gonna be bigger. So that's why how I know that the move needs to be deeper, needs to be shallower, because the sequence tells me which degree am I looking at. If it's a smaller degree, the move needs to be smaller degree. If it's a higher degree, it needs to be a bigger correction. And if it's a bigger correction, you need to get a bigger move. See, smaller move, shorter move. Okay, bigger correction like this, bigger move, all of it. That's how this works. So you need to understand the whole wave cycle. It's not as easy as you read on the internet. The internet is full of nonsensical stuff. Okay, that's what you're going to look at. New Zealand CAD. So now let's look at the indices. Before the indices, US oil. Let's look at US oil. So oil for hour. All right, so oil for hour. I was looking for this here to be an A and all of these to be a B. So again, here you've got 1, 2, 3. That gives you an A, B, C. And then after an A, B, C, you expect A, C wave down. But this one does not go aggressively. Instead, it corrects. So when it corrects, that's how we know that. That's how we know that it's not complete. The correction is not complete. So that's why we needed to get another one. So last week, I was actually looking for these two end here and come down, but can see that it still pushed a little bit higher. So let's see if we're getting that reversal, because right now that expanding flat is still valid. So what you need to understand is we are building a correction. If this is the correction that we're building, we need to know which one it is building. So if this is going to be an expanding flat, then that means that is your W, your 3 waves there, X, and another 3 waves there. Okay, so making this ABC as well within the B, and then come back down. And it does not have to come back and tag here, because if this is a running flat, it can reverse here. So let's see if we've got any indication of a reversal on the lower time frame on the 1 hour to confirm our bias. Okay, right now there is no strong impulse for downside. So we've got a 3-wave pullback. We've got an impulse, so this may give us one more push, at least to this level. So we need to see what's going to happen. So then if it makes this move like that, then that whole thing will be corrective, and that means that correction would have been done and we need to go to the upside. So we need to wait and see what happens when it gets to this level. Get a flag here, take a short trade here to this level. Short term around 69.50, back to the previous high. Okay, so that's oil. Looking at the indices now, we can go to the indices. S&P 500. S&P 500 showed you that this needs to break to the downside. You've got your break. Because all the indices, as I said last week, were in this apparent looking V patterns here. And they broke out and they were making these diagonals here. So this looks like A, B, C here, and we broke down. So you got the break to the downside, you need to get another one. You need to get a bit of a deeper one for further downside. Not all the way necessarily, it may just end up to this level. So short-term bearish, last time we said bullish short-term, and we played out exactly like that. So we need to get a flag here for downside. Initial target this size. And the Nikkei, the NASDAQ. NASDAQ first, same. 1, 2, 3 wave pullback. There were gaps here that would have convinced other people that this move is actually going all the way. Okay, so now you get a break of that channel, wait for corrective flag, target this size. And after that, we're gonna update it next week again. All right. The FTSE, the UK 100. This one, as we said last week, this one is out of the V pattern, so it is bullish. This one is a little bit different to the rest. You said keep buying the flex. Here's another one you can buy short term. So the FTSE is the one that looks like you can buy in the next trading session for one more up. Okay. And DAX. DAX, you're getting a flag. One more up. Similar, we had a V pattern which broke out. So we didn't forecast that in hindsight beforehand. So we knew it was going to break out. So the DAX and the FTSE have not broken down like the S&P 500. So Tux has got a question on S&P. Let's see what you are asking there, what you're saying. No, that's not a flag. This move is very strong to the upside, or to the downside, sorry. So this is not a flag. Rather, this can do that. So even if this goes up, so because it has gone down very sharply, what it will normally do is this, if it's going to go up. But that is not a flag. All right. Nikkei. NASDAQ, Nikkei, Dutch. We've done the Nikkei, have we? It's just all the same. That's why. Nikkei. Similar to all the other indices. V pattern. See how accurate the V pattern is. We're going correctively with this. So one more up. But let me go look at the 1 hour. We're actually on the 1 hour. So if we're on the 1 hour and it's doing this, we've got this move up. This correction will just do this for one more down. If it does that, then you're gonna get one more up like that. That's the Nikkei. That's not how I look at FIPS Taxman. So if I still have time, then we can check that. But let's finish the indices now. We've got about no, the cryptocurrencies. We've got about 5 minutes. All right. So Bitcoin. There's nothing new that we didn't already anticipate for the last couple of days. It's loading the daily there. Okay, so that's Bitcoin on the 240. Let's load it up. What have we been looking at on Bitcoin and all the cryptocurrencies? All the moves are similar. You've got this 1, 2, 3 down, and those are 3-wave moves, WXY. So we had this 3-wave pullback, 3-wave pullback, and now we're getting this one, and then down. Okay, so what we said last week is that we need to get a bounce to the upside, at least back to this level. Okay, so you can see we already have this move if you're interested in trading Bitcoin. So what I said, don't get married to this. This is not necessarily the one that will go. We need to come to that level. Because when we come to that level, this is what could happen. It's just one of the possibilities that could happen. But we need to see when we get to that level and see what the market gives us. But this is what I think. What I think is that when we get to that level, we are going to get a similar move to this one. Either 1, 2, 3 zigzag or 1, 2, 3 like that. So either way, it's going to be a 3-wave corrective structure giving us a WXY. So cryptocurrencies are still going to go much lower based on this. So we need to keep an eye and see how this unfolds. So there are some that are looking at trend lines like this. I use trend lines differently. I don't use them for that. So saying this is a major zone, and this will then go back up all the way. Okay, if it goes, then it's good money, but I'm anticipating that this will do that This will do that, giving us a WXY. And if it goes, then it will go like that. Okay. Bitcoin, and then Litecoin, similar. You can see it's exactly the same structure. So we expected that move that is currently playing out, W. And this whole thing we're looking at SNX to come and retest the top here. So you keep buying up until this level, previous high. So Bitcoin and Litecoin, you're trying to retest the previous high. That's all you're doing. So what you need to do is every corrective flag, you keep buying it until you get to that level, right? So Ethereum, same. It's just that as you've seen, the others have done this and they've already done this one. This one is still a bit behind. It's lagging in terms of structure. Okay, so this one will still go up. We'll still expect a down move. We'll still expect it to complete this whole structure. So this one is lagging the rest. And then we will expect that this move will be the same as well. Okay. Only after all that correction will we expect the cryptocurrencies to go up. All right. And lastly, Ripple. Ripple, expecting it to retest that level, making this, it can retest or even break slightly. As you can see here, we've got a 3-wave move, 3 waves, and then you'll expect this to give us the same move back, similar to all the others. Okay, so with all the cryptocurrencies short term, target the previous highs, but be careful when you get to those previous highs because that may be the start of the last move to the downside. Okay, that's all I had for you this week. Please subscribe and like the videos. See you again next week. Good luck. All the best. Cheers. Bye-bye.